Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. Some of those that work forces.
Well, I guess that's as violent as it gets in the streets of Hogtown. And again, I'm not complaining. We just had a flag tug of war. Not sure who won. I'm going to call it a tie. David Menzies for Rebel News here in downtown Toronto. Well, folks, I'm right across the street from the U.S. Consulate. And this gathering behind me, well, it's evidently members of the Toronto-based chapter of Antifa. Now, on social media, here's what they said as to why they're congregating tonight. First of all, we are all anti-fascists. Well, I'd like to think that's true, but I don't subscribe to the Antifa definition of anti-fascist, which is basically just being a fascist. They're less anti and more fa. It goes on to say, the criminalization of Antifa as a terrorist organization, while the police unleash violence across America, cannot be ignored. Now, of course, the death of Mr. Floyd in Minneapolis was reprehensible, and the police officer, the ex-police officer who did it, he's going to likely spend the rest of his days in prison, as he should. It goes on to say, North America is built on the genocide of theft of land from indigenous people and the forced labor and enslavement of African people. That's par for the course for what they have to say. Come out and show solidarity to our comrades in the USA and all communities facing police violence and state repression. And here's the part I really love. PPE and social distancing is in effect. Yeah, remember that thing called the Wuhan virus pandemic? Yeah, well, they're trying to remind people, I guess. See, the thing is, folks, people who comprise the rank and file of Antifa, they will claim that the reason why Mr. Floyd died is due to systemic racism. But look at what they represent. They represent systemic thuggery, systemic violence, systemic anarchy. How is that any better? And how is it possible that going into ethnic communities, targeting mom pa black stores, how does that bring about any kind of justice or social justice? It only throws gasoline on an already raging fire. In any event, I'm going to attempt to try to interview some of these people. I know from previous occasions, it's a bit of a fool's errand. They have a great deal of trouble articulating themselves, but hey, you know what? I'm kind of like Charlie Brown kicking that football. Maybe this time we'll get some intellectual discussion on camera when it comes to the rank and file of Antifa.
If you are against state repression, you are Antifa. We are not an organization. We do not have a leader. We have an ideology that says wherever fascism raises its head, we will be there to confront it. Because
what brings you out here, sir, to this protest?
It's our fucking land.
I couldn't hear you. You sounded concealed with your
land, boss. Yeah, you haven't paid your fucking rent yet.
Oh, are you Antifa security?
What's with your John Wayne hat?
Oh, I think it's after John Wayne.
Stupid.
You're with Rebel Media? Yeah, how you doing, sir? Oh, why are you telling me to get the
Don't approach me. Don't stay 6 feet away from me. That's not 6 feet. Get away.
Sir, it's 2 meters. How dare you use the imperial system?
Get the away from me.
Okay, then now why do I have to get away from you? This is a public sidewalk.
I don't like you very much.
Okay, well,
Because
you just go home.
That's why.
Oh, wait, really? How am I a fascist exactly? My grandfather spent 5.5 years in the World War II fighting the Nazis.
You're not your grandfather.
Well, yeah, that is true, but what did your grandfather do to fight fascism?
Get you moron.
Is that how you respond to a question, with profanity? You can't articulate yourself, sir? His grandfather was probably hiding under the bed. So, guys, how would you rank this Antifa rally so far, man? I don't know, it seems a little low energy, though. I mean, I'm glad there's no violence, but...
What?
This is the rebel guy I told you about.
Oh, sorry, ma'am. What is the welder trying to say to you there?
The what?
The man in the welding mask.
It's my boyfriend. He has a lot to say.
Is he telling you not to talk to me?
No, I'm just saying that she needs to put on her mask on.
Oh.
I can barely hear you through all the layers of PPE, sir.
That's okay, it's all right.
What brings you out here?
You?
Really? Gee, how'd you know I was coming here? That's pretty impressive surveillance.
Yeah, it's true.
You wear a lot of badges. No smoking. Let's see. Canada 150. Chew on this. Be vaccine educated. Black Lives Matter.
Black Lives Matter.
No.
That's why we're here.
Do you know what? That's a very profound point, ma'am, because I don't see many black people here at all. I think I see one person. Why is that? Why aren't members of the black community here?
Because this is not a Black Lives Matter event. It's a grassroots event.
Oh, so black people only take their marching orders from Black Lives Matter?
This is totally in defense of the people of the United States that are being hurt by Donald Trump's policies.
Okay, well, why not on their own accord? Why wouldn't black people come and join this rally with you?
That's their choice.
Okay, then.
That's their choice.
And they're overwhelmingly choosing not to. What does that say?
Well, we are allies, and we choose to come here on my own accord. Yeah.
So-called protesters going into black communities, burning to the ground mom, pop black businesses. How does that bring about any kind of social justice or any justice at all?
I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. We have a bit of a counter-protest that has sprung up. They're outnumbered, but they are getting in the face of the Antifa demonstrators. And it's interesting. The fellow with the bullhorn was saying, go to your space. And it's quite incredible because this is everybody's space. This is a public sidewalk, folks. And it's doubly ironic because these are the same people that are against the very idea of private property. Well, apparently, it looks like when they set up a demonstration on a public sidewalk, it becomes their private property. He's my cameraman, yes.
Yeah, we're here, we're undercover, we're just like Antifa. We just asked for the flags, they gave us one.
You said you're undercover?
Yeah.
Oh, undercover for whom?
This person in general.
Okay, then.
I just bought a helmet, wearing a COVID mask. Showed up, they gave me one of their hats, or one of their flags. Antifa.
I'm confused. Then you're not Antifa? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not.
Oh, okay then.
No.
You kind of look like Antifa, but anyways, I'll take you at your word. So what's your purpose here then, sir?
I think Antifa is a terrorist organization. I know they're a terrorist organization. They fit the definition. Violence in the pursuit of political aims is terrorism. They're literally killing people, literally wearing masks, covering their face, and killing people who disagree with them. That's the firmest definition of terrorism. That's domestic terrorism, okay? And they're listed, as terrorists by Donald Trump exactly as they should be. And if you have opinions, you know what? Stand behind what you say, okay? Don't wear a mask. Don't cover your face. Stand behind what you say. Stand behind your name. Stand behind your points. If you're right, if you're true, if you're good, then stand behind what you have to say, okay? The only people who cover their faces and cover their names are people who are cowards, who are wrong, and don't have the man or aren't the men enough to stand behind what they say, what their points, what they believe in.
They claim they're anti-fascist, but they don't really fight fascism because they're the fascists by doing all this violence.
They say they're anti-Nazi, okay? I'm Jewish, okay? I've never once met anyone who identifies as a Nazi, okay? What they're doing is they're cheapening Jewish history by calling everyone Nazis. They're using my people's history, to further their own political agenda. So they take Jewish history, the atrocities Nazis committed to Jews, and they use it to further their own political agendas and defame and slander other people, okay? Not once, I've been going to rallies since I was 17 in Canada, not once have I ever met anyone who identifies as a Nazi.
Hey man, what brings you out to this protest?
No, you're a fool.
Did you hear me? I'm sorry. What brings you out to this protest?
I'm not going to give your trashy rag a talking piece. Fuck off.
You are a cartoon, my friend.
Wow, that seemed like her.
Keep your distance from me. Keep your distance from me.
Can't you articulate your point?
Not to you. I'll happily talk to you online. You can message the event page on one of the organizers.
Why would you want to talk online? We're right here.
These people.
I don't want you near me, and I don't like your organization.
Are you Antifa?
It is xenophobia.
I'm anti-fascist.
It is scapegoating other people.
Why do you use?
We say no more.
Why do you use?
You fascist.
Why do you use fascist tactics and claim to be Antifa?
You use the tactics. You don't know who I am.
Why are your comrades in the U.S. burning down black mom pub?
Why do you know who I am? You don't know who I am. Why did you say my comrades?
Well, that's what the press release said. You're standing in solidarity with your USA comrades.
We're in solidarity with people being arrested right now in the States.
Seeing what happens.
How does burning down mom pub black businesses?
Again, stop putting your position on me.
I'm asking a question. I'm not making an opinion.
You keep saying you. You say you as if you know who I am. You don't know who I am.
Okay, how?
I'm doing something.
Okay, fair enough. How do American anti-fascist members burning down mom pub black businesses? How does that bring about social justice?
What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Who am I? You don't know who I am. You keep asking me a question as if I'm related to them. I'm not related to them.
Well, you have an opinion, don't you?
I have an opinion. I have an opinion that fascists like you are the enemy.
What makes me a fascist, ma'am?
Are you with these guys?
No, I'm just a journalist covering this, actually.
You're with Rebel Media. Yeah, we know their history.
So that means it's kind of funny. My grandfather spent 5.5 years fighting the Nazis in the Second World War.
Mine too. Both.
Thank you for his service.
Both of my sides of the family escaped the Nazis. I'm Jewish.
I'm married to a Jewish woman. So how does that?
What a joke.
That's great.
That's a joke. That's interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know a black guy too.
Hey guys, you got a fan club over here.
Wow. See, this is the problem, folks. They never can quite articulate their opinions. It descends into profanity, it descends into slurs, it descends into insults. And I was just trying to have a civil discussion with that purple-headed woman, and it went nowhere.
We say F Trudeau. We say Biden too. Pelosi. What the fuck?
Finally, we have a meeting of the minds. So, man, what did you make of that speech you just heard there? Black Lives Matter. By the way, I'm just wondering, I agree with you, Black Lives Matter, but where are the black people at this rally?
It's not a Black Lives Matter rally.
Oh, okay, black people have to come out by the order of Black Lives Matter? Is that how it works?
No, I'm just saying it's not a Black Lives Matter rally, so we're not.
To protest violence in the States that's totally unwarranted.
I think there's maybe one black guy here. One. What does that say?
And now you do what they told you.
Now you do what they told you.
Now you do what they told you.
I just want to your sign, ma'am. Property destruction is not violence. What about all the people that are actually losing their lives defending their businesses, including minorities?
Well, murder is violence. Property destruction is not violence. Destroying a window is not the same as destroying a person's face. Breaking a window is not the same as breaking someone's arm.
We've even seen black-owned mom-pop businesses burned to the ground. They might not ever come back from that. How is that advancing the cause of justice or social justice?
Well, unfortunately, if we look at history, it took the destruction of property at the least to make change. There's been peaceful protest forever, and I'm just saying that property destruction is still peaceful protest. We cannot compare. It's a fundamentally capitalist idea that property is of value the way that lives are of value.
But even if these are innocent people, I mean, you seem like a nice lady. If I were to step on your cell phone and destroy it out of some cause, would you?
That would absolutely be destructive, but it would not be violence. If you broke my cell phone, it would not be the same as if you broke my arm.
Would it be wrong, though?
That's not what I'm saying, right or wrong. Unfortunately, what's been happening to black people, indigenous people at the hands of people in authority is wrong and is violent and murder many times. And we should not be comparing that to breaking items. It's really fundamentally capitalist and skewed in our perception of what we should be valuing, and that is lives.
So as the Antifa protests outside the American Consulate winds down, what did we learn? Well, namely, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is effing class war, and 5, 6, 7, 8, overthrow the racist state. And black lives under attack, what do? Stand up and fight back. You know, the thing is, folks, as far as Antifa protests go, this was incredibly lame. But don't get me wrong, I'm actually very happy that it was so lame. let's put it this way. I'll take vulgar rhyming couplets over bricks and Molotov cocktails any day. For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Folks, wouldn't you say by this point we have indeed flattened the pandemic? So why are certain governments continuing to flatten the economy? Please go to our newest petition, letuswork.ca. That's letuswork.ca. Sign that petition and make a statement that we all want to get back to work.